Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Gambo.
We're sorry, okay? Okay? We're just sorry.
And I'm sick of hearing about it, you know? It's like you make one mistake.
We know it's Wednesday, and we don't have a good reason.
Yeah.
We have many different small, unimportant reasons, but we're sorry, okay?
One of them was I was just super hungover one day. I went to probably the fanciest wedding I've ever been to. It wasn't even a wedding, actually. They already got married. Do you know, I'm liking this trend that people get into.
Yeah, get married and then have a party.
Yeah, get married. Maybe it's not a trend. It's just happened to two of our friends.
Now,
I'm calling it a trend, but
we don't have many friends, so that's like 60% of our friends.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then there's you, and then I'm out of friends.
Yeah. And I love the idea, so look forward to it going up.
All my friends will be married this way. Because I think for one, it's got to be way cheaper. Because if you can do a ceremony with like cheaper celebrant stuff at like a registry office or wherever, then actually I say that, and I found out that my friends who eloped, they got married in the US. They didn't check to see if it would be legal in Australia before they did this, but it turns out legal.
It turns out it was all good.
But they got married in, I only found this out the other day, they got married in the Big Lebowski house.
Yeah.
Which is this like really awesome looking,
like it's like an old school place. Hollywood Hills mansion.
Yeah. And all it was, apparently they had contacted this place and they were like, yes, it's $50,000 just for you to think about it. Actually, you owe us $50,000 because you thought about it. And they were like, oh my God. But Cassie, my friend who's getting married, she just contacted the owner of this place, just through like, I don't know, connections somehow. I don't know. She found out this guy and was like, hey, we just really love the house. We want to get married there. And it'll only just be us two. And he's like, all right, I'll give you like 15 minutes or whatever. And so they were like, okay, we better book some flights to America and quickly get married. And it's like, that's an awesome idea.
Now, Nelson, have you seen The Big Lebowski?
Yes, I have, yeah.
So that movie, there's a mistaken identity. Mm-hmm. The dude whose last name is Lebowski gets mistaken for the Big Lebowski, who has the rich house. But it would be embarrassing if they accidentally booked the dude's house, the other Lebowski, which is just like a shitty apartment.
Yeah, terrible apartment. Yeah. Just mess everywhere. Yeah. And they're like, guys, we're at the Big Lebowski place. They're like, oh, you got the wrong one. Don't tell your friends about this. Yeah, that'd be embarrassing. But yeah, anyway, I'm doing it. Where should I get married then? I need to top my friends, obviously. Because I basically...
I've got it. Wayne Manor.
Oh, Wayne Manor.
Or, depends, that's in England, technically, where they filmed that. But you could also get married at the, like, Xavier School mansion from X-Men. That would be cool.
That's pretty cool.
What if, instead of walking down the aisle, she walked down that blue corridor? You know, from the X-Men movies, they're always in that blue corridor with the big X door at the end.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Also, Wolverine should be there.
I'm going to
invite Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. But as Wolverine.
I'm going to, when I send the email, it'll be, Dear Wolverine.
And it'll be like, send it to your friends. You know the guys. I don't know them. Send it to Cyclops and Beast and send the whole gang.
All the other ones. They can come too. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe, actually, I thought another one, and maybe cheaper. Okay. Potentially just as cool? Not really. It's not as cool. But I was thinking Batman is in like the Dark Knight, the like underground one where it's just like roof of lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool room. It's a big room, lots of lights.
Maybe that's why you do a ceremony on the gardens of Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
And then the reception is in the cool basement.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention that like Batman will be there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he can send it to he can send it to Robert or the rest.
Yeah. Not the Penguin though.
Okay, so if you're inviting Hugh Jackman but inviting him as Wolverine, who are you technically inviting as Batman? Because this would decide once and for all who your Batman is.
There's so many of them. Is there a possibility to maybe just invite all of them? But like throughout the night, one steps out, the other one steps in, and at no point do they or anyone acknowledge that a new Batman has entered. It's just the one Batman the whole time.
See, I thought this was going to be a test, right? Because these are all Hollywood bigwigs, so schedules are pretty hard.
Yeah.
So even if you invite all the Batman, chances are not all of them will show up. But whoever does show up, you're like, you're my Batman. You came. And you know what? It was George Clooney, and I'm just going to have to live with that George Clooney is my Batman now.
Yeah. I wouldn't lie if I said I'm not a little bit disappointed.
I do love the Christian Bale movies, but I will accept you, George Clooney, as my Batman.
George, you're the one that backed it up by coming here, and I really appreciate that. And I imagine he'll shed a tear and give thanks to us, and that means a lot to me.
You're like, I brought Robin. You're like, excellent. I hate it. I hate it so much, but thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Anywho, Cambo, we should get into this Reddit-based podcast. This first Reddit on Reddit is by Hey Andy. This is in the subreddit Crazy Ideas. It's an idea for a gender reveal.
Okay.
Cambo, you've heard all of them, not this one. Float a balloon containing the colour, blue or pink, to 60,000 feet. Wait for the Air Force to shoot it down and watch the news to see what colour it was.
Yeah. I should have pegged that earlier
Yeah.
with the word balloon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it as a strategy. Here's the thing that has happened in the interim between us last talking is just a million random objects in the American sky that are continually now being shut down. Did you hear about why this is happening?
Well, no. I'll say no.
Well, sorry, I should say one of the leading theories as to why suddenly there's all these things in the sky is there was a report of the spy balloon, but in order to track it, they had to open up their frequency because they filter out a lot of stuff in the sky because it's not that important to them. And so they opened their frequency up to find the balloon, and they found it. But when they opened their frequency up, they're like, what's all this?
Oh, my God. So many Chinese spy balloons.
So there's theories that whatever they've been shooting down in the last week, these weird cylindrical things that they've been shooting down, have probably been up there for a while and have just been filtered out on whatever frequency they're normally monitoring.
Yeah. There's going to be a movie about this for sure one day. One like panicked scientist that's trying to convince several other scientists and government officials that there's more balloons in the sky. It's going to be called 99
Red
Spy Balloons.
Spy balloons?
I think, and it's going to star Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he just turns up. It's cool.
And whichever Batman we decide on.
Yeah, whichever one turns up. That's the one that's going to be there. Yeah, it is pretty, that kind of like a little bit funny and then like maybe a little bit not funny that there's like these spy balloons around.
Yeah.
Because it seems funny in the idea of like this day and age of spying seems like unnecessary, but then that's why it's a little bit scary because you're like, well, I think it's unnecessary, but I guess
they're doing it for a reason.
Or other places, it's finding this an important thing to do.
Yeah.
And so I guess there's, I don't know, it's a little bit scary, but also I'm like, yeah, you can have a look at my back out.
And even
I haven't mowed for weeks.
Even though there are darker implications of everything that's going on.
Yeah.
There is something unfortunately kind of funny about a balloon.
Yeah.
Just this slow, meandering balloon being like,
Yeah.
"Hey guys, what are you doing?"
Yeah, it seems like such a ancient technology of spying. I imagine there's a guy in there with a camera. I'm pretty sure is how that works.
Big
Just
old
really
long lens. Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, I did read that they're saying like the funny thing about the balloons is like they pretty much go where the weather goes. Like there's no controlling. They said there might be the possibility that it can go up and down slightly to catch different winds as it goes. But I thought that was so interesting that they're like, again, this idea of like spying, it's like low level spying, but it seems to have been working like, presumably for years.
Imagine if you sent it out for weeks and it finally came back and you just look through and you're like, this is nothing.
Yeah, we've got a lot of clouds. Guys, we didn't think about all the clouds in the sky.
The weather and the wind pattern were not good to China, and we must admit we've learnt nothing.
Yeah. They all kind of congregated over the Arizona desert. There's not much
we can confirm there is no activity happening out in the desert. Nothing we need to worry about out there. So that's good to know, I guess.
Yeah, I'll write a report on that. That'll be on your desk first thing. So anyway, good idea for a gender reveal.
Yeah.
Is it as good as starting a bushfire?
Look, here in Australia, we love a bushfire, don't we?
Yeah,
every year we have them just because we love them so much.
Yeah. We haven't this year. Not yet.
Why would you say that? Why would you ever say that?
Oh. Yes. Well, that one actually wasn't. That was in America somewhere, was it? That gender reveal one?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I always, this is maybe a bit morbid, but I always enjoy whenever one of our yearly bushfires here in Australia makes the news in America and the Americans start being like, oh, I hope everything's okay. I'm like, this is always happening. Yeah, by the way. Yeah. This is always happening.
Yeah.
Not just this once.
So many times. Yeah. It's happened to us.
Thank you, but...
Yeah, it's like those times where you hear people in like, I don't know, like Florida, right? Mm-hmm. Where they have like bad hurricanes and stuff. Yeah. And you're like, why don't you guys just move?
Yeah, that's
I expect that when the Americans hear about our bushfires, they're like, guys, just move. Yeah.
And then we're like, we can't move because if we move to the other location, that's where the deadly animals are. All right? Yeah. So this is our choice.
Yeah, we'll take occasional bushfires over getting murdered in our sleep by venomous things.
And then the only other option other than those...
desert.
there's three options. Your bushfires, deadly animals, or Adelaide. And we're not moving to Adelaide.
I would rather kill myself.
It's a lovely city.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All right, Kevin, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit was originally by Sonic Singularity, but it was cross-posted to us by Just Judging Reddit. Your goal is to ruin a birthday party.
Oh.
What do you fill the piñata with?
Spiders, for a start.
Spiders?
I'd fill it with spiders, but what pisses off a spider? Because I'd also chuck that in there. A snake?
Oh, maybe a spider and a snake.
Because then they come out fighting.
That could turn into a cool birthday party. If you're like, man, I just watched this war between snakes and spiders and it was awesome. Imagine as a kid. And there's got to be something a little bit satisfying with squishing a lot of spiders. Like I hate spiders and that would creep me out. But then I would get a little bit of satisfaction, I think, out of squishing all the spiders. Because like spiders are good, satisfying to squish.
Okay, I know what it is. This is the worst thing you can ever receive, Nelson.
Yeah.
You fill it with... They break the piñata and they think, what is this? Is this a $5 note? And they pick up all the $5 notes and they're just those weird religious flyers.
Yeah.
So I'm sure every region has their version of this. But specifically in Australia, there are people that hand out what look like $5 notes. But once you pick them up, you realize if you flip them over, they're just talking about their church.
What religious person thought that would be a good idea? Like, oh no, we're really struggling to get people into our religion.
Yeah.
How about we pretend that we're going to offer them some money, but really it's just saintly advice from our Lord and Savior.
One of those things where it solved a problem, but not the root issue, right? Like, it's like a church has been like, not enough people are joining the church and reading our material. What we need to do is we need to go and give it out for free.
Yeah.
And they went out to the corners and they were trying to give it out, and they're like, okay, well, now the new problem is not enough people are taking the literature. And one guy's like, I have an idea.
Yeah.
I know how we'll get people to take the literature.
Yeah.
But that doesn't solve the actual problem that they're having. It solves the second problem that they encountered.
I hope that guy was fired from the religion.
And they're like, here's your severance package. And they slip over a series of bills to him. It's like, well, this all looks like...
I imagine boxes of them. They're like, turns out we handed out about 100, then everybody knew what they were, and we're stuck with so many of these fake bills. How about this, Cambo? Fill the pinata with money.
Yep. Okay.
Kid hits it open.
Yep.
Now, as I believe, what I've been told, more money, more problems. So,
now you've cursed the kid.
Yeah. That kid's going to be like, oh my God, I'm so rich. And then bam, problems all the time.
Yeah.
His friends being like, well, I want some or whatever. They tear each other to pieces.
Yeah. What?
Just trying to get at this money.
Okay, what you should do, fill it with money. So when the kid opens it and he's counting all his money, you should also have hired 2 people from the Australian tax office to come.
Oh, yeah.
And be like, have you declared that money? What's going on with all this money? You got to pay tax on that, you realise?
Yeah. Can be. More money, more problems.
They'll look at you and they'll go, is this a gift? And you'll be like, no.
No. They earned this.
Yeah. It's not a gift and it's not charity, therefore it is taxable.
Yeah. But I think other than that, bees.
Yeah, bees is always... If you're hitting a thing full of bees, those bees are coming out ready to fight, aren't they?
Yeah, or I have heard hornets are bad. We don't really have hornets.
No, but we can import them in for this.
Do you know why? Because the other venomous deadly things killed the hornets.
The hornets didn't stand a chance against our spiders.
Yeah. But bees were just not dangerous enough for the other venomous and deadly animals to care about.
We all enjoyed honey just enough to let them live.
Yeah.
We told the dingoes and all the wild animals, hey, whoa, hang on. They're all right, those ones.
Yeah, that's right.
But if they turn on us, I swear to God, we'll release this dingo on you.
Oh, my dingo ate me bees, is what we'll say.
In reference to that horrible accident.
Yeah. Was it an accident, Canberra?
No, probably.
I think she trained the dingo. Here's another quick one. This was originally by PM Your Dragon, but cross-posed to us by Gone Emotionally. What's your favorite TV show that's older than you?
I think technically probably The Simpsons. I think The Simpsons started in late 89, and I was born in 1990.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Simpsons is good. Okay, for some reason, I was thinking, as soon as I saw this, I was trying to think of stuff that was like almost finished maybe before I was born. Actually, but then that's I don't think that's true for my answer. My answer was going to be, I think MASH.
It still can be.
No, it's not.
Well, you were
because I think if I thought about it
right?
in the normal terms of this question, then it would probably would be The Simpsons. I think, except for the newest Simpsons. Holy shit! Can they end that show already? It's terrible. The writing is terrible. It's so bad.
Okay, I hate to inform you, but I think The Simpsons might not be applicable to you. We're not very far apart, but I've just binged it. And December 17, 1989 is the first episode of The Simpsons, and you were born in October 1989.
Yeah.
So it's not older than you, but it is older than me.
Yeah. No, 89. No, it started just before me, right?
No, December, just after you. You
Oh,
were
sorry,
born in October,
December.
I started
I
in
just
December.
literally misheard what month he said.
right.
I thought he said September.
Oh, you wish I said September, because then this would be
I
your favorite
wish.
show that was
Oh my
older than you.
God. I'm older than The Simpsons.
And
That's
just like The
old.
Simpsons, Nelson, can you stop? Can you you were great a couple of years ago, but just stop.
Yeah.
You really peaked in the late 90s.
Oh, I've got it.
Okay.
Yeah, it is MASH.
Okay.
This started both before
It would have finished before you were
and
born.
finished
Yeah.
before I was born.
Yeah. That was what, the mid-80s?
It started 1972 to 1983.
83, yeah. I remember the end of MASH being a big thing.
Yeah. You heard many years later.
Yeah.
Out of the womb. You were talking to your granddad, and he's like, "I remember when MASH ended. It was a great time."
Whatever, Granddad. I'm watching The Simpsons.
Yeah.
I'm doing the Bartman.
I reckon MASH was one of the first TV shows.
No, wrong, Nelson. It came out way after TV.
No, it was one of the first.
Yeah, they had one other show before that ran for years.
Yeah.
It was just called the TV.
Hogan's Heroes.
It was just called the TV, and the guy's like, "Welcome to TV again."
Yeah.
What
We
are
still
doing
haven't
now?
thought this through.
What
we
are we
still
doing
haven't
now?
thought it through.
I guess there's a juggler, I guess.
I've learned to play the spoons a bit. I'm not very good. I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, because I remember when I was like young and watching MASH, there was episodes as a kid that I was like, I'm like tearing up. I'm about to cry because the writing is so good about these guys that are like stuck in war.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was such a good TV show. I probably shouldn't go back and watch it, though. I have a feeling. I think it might be one of those ones. But yeah, anyway.
It was the first sitcom to be a little bit sad, which I feel like a lot of sitcoms now do.
Yeah. Then Scrubs happened.
Then
and
Scrubs
then
happened, yeah.
people were like, oh, I see. You can be funny and sad at the same time.
And MASH is like, "Are you kidding me?
We did
Like
that.
11 years we did that."
We did that already. You guys. Cool. All right, Camber, let's move on to Today I Advice.
So now it's time for Today I Learned.
Today I learned.
And also sometimes advice.
This Today I Learned is by Specialist Check. Today I learned virtually all communion wafers distributed in churches in the USA are made by one for-profit company.
I mean, nothing surprises me less.
Brilliant. So good. It's so good. Here's two ways to get rich.
Mm-hmm.
Sell things to religious things, churches, whatever.
Yep.
Religious people. Also, people that have kids.
Yeah, I'm going to add a third one, which I think is
Yeah.
the real cash cow, the military.
Oh, sell things to the military.
Oh, yeah.
Sell wafers to the military.
Oh, that's good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell them it enhances them.
And that's the... This is what I find funny around marketing as well, by the way, with military spending, is a lot of marketing, especially for like outdoor gear or anything like that, will say this is military grade.
Yeah.
It's like that. Well, like what I think we've talked about this on the show before, where they say like it's military grade as if it's a good thing, but all that technically means is that the military would buy it because it's passable. Like it's
It was
good
like
enough for the military.
bare minimum.
Yeah,
Of,
it passed whatever requirements the military have, which aren't huge, to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, this would be fine to use.
yeah.
It's actually not a ringing endorsement. It just means it won't completely break straight away, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. This is functional enough. Actually, on that, I was also reading the other day, which I found really interesting and I guess I sort of knew, but not really until it was pointed out to me, which is that they were talking about the war in Ukraine, actually. Mm-hmm. And this analyst was saying that wars are notoriously won by those that have the better technology, the more advanced technology. And he was saying, like, in basically every case, like, there isn't a war that was won by somebody with inferior technology. And I just thought that was such an interesting thing to hear, and I didn't realize before. Obviously, these days the advanced stuff they are spending billions of, and it's like the missiles that can just kill everybody without anyone, even trying, basically. It's not so much about the military grade like vests that they are putting on.
Yeah.
One day maybe it was, but not anymore.
Yeah, war now is drones in the sky that no one knows are up there.
Yeah.
That are continually just targeting people automatically.
Yeah.
Like, you'll never see it coming in a million years. It'll just be a flash of light and then you'll be dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's war.
That's war. We've summed up war.
Yeah.
Here's actually this next today I learned is somewhat similar, which is by Deisreg. Today I learned that in 1941, USS New York opened fire on an object, believing it to be a Japanese aircraft. Fire commenced until a navigator realized they were shooting at Venus.
Did they get it?
They got it. Canberra.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore. People just pretend. Have you seen Venus? Think about this. Have you seen Venus recently?
That's true.
Yeah, it's gone.
And
but it makes me think about talking about the spending and whatnot. How you see little things where they're like, "Hey, this one shell costs like $3 million," and you're like, "Oh my god!" I saw them firing 1,000 of those. I just want to know like how much money they spent
shooting at Venus. Yeah, it would be tens of millions.
Yeah, I mean, just shooting one bullet would have been like.
Think about this. There was obviously like let's say, a squad or some kind of like group of people, some military group of people. Yeah. They all got paid that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, on top of everything else, you're paying 20 salaries.
Yeah. That was an expensive attack on Venus.
And you know what? It's still up there and it's still taunting us.
Yeah. Do you reckon the navigator's like, "Hey, that's Venus, Captain," and he's like, no, we got it. No, something else. I mean, we got the aircraft. It fell into the ocean. I saw it. Don't worry.
It blew up so much that we no evidence of it anymore.
Yeah.
We so entirely blew it up.
All right. Everybody agree? Huh? Give you an extra ration.
If someone doesn't agree, you start to look a whole lot like Venus to me.
I mean, Japanese aircraft. Yeah. Pretty embarrassing. Anyway, okay, what are we going to sell to the military then, Cambo?
What is the modern day military version of like snake oil that we could be selling?
I feel like there was a period of time we totally missed it where it was like mental capability.
Yeah.
Like psychic abilities or something. I don't know if we could maybe sell that back. Depends, I guess, if Trump becomes president again.
Yeah.
Might give us a chance.
We really need a real dipshit president.
Yeah.
Because when we get another dipshit president,
yeah,
old Campbell and Nelson will be rolling around in the White House with their goods to sell.
We'll be on the doorsteps.
Yeah. So you're thinking some kind of mental, and what is it, like a telepathy that we're selling?
Yes. Do you know we need to get good at cold reading? We'd be like, we can talk to the dead. Yeah. Think about how good we are on a battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
That's horrible. I don't want to get us sent to a battlefield where there's like lots of dead people. Like, who killed you?
What we say is we'll talk to the dead, and we'll find out every maneuver they ever died from. So you would have the best strategy to avoid every kind of death.
We will talk directly to Sun Tzu.
Yep. We'll talk to him. Send us around the world, actually. We'll talk to famous dead. Send us to France. We'll talk to Napoleon.
Yeah.
Send us around the world. We'll talk to all the great military leaders. We'll get all of their strategies.
Yep.
And we'll jot them down. And then we'll take a holiday for a while.
Yeah.
On the day of, we'll go into ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And say, write the best military strategy that's ever been written.
Yeah.
In the style of Napoleon, Sun Tzu, all the guys. You know.
Yeah.
Give it as much information as possible to give the best document.
Okay. That's good. Oh, man. You know what? ChatGPT paying for itself, honestly.
And that's the thing.
I was like, oh, we've dug ourselves a hole. But no, we haven't.
No,
It's so easy.
that's the thing. They say the people with the best technology win, and I guess we have the best technology because we have ChatGPT on our side.
Idiots gave it away for free. All right, Kimber, let's move on into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, thoughts, thoughts.
This shower thought is by Canned Wolf Meat. Movies based on video games are finally starting to get good because the people who grew up playing them are old enough to be directing, writing, and acting in them.
Yeah, I think this is true of comic book movies as well.
I was going to say, I actually disagree with this being based on video games, but if this was about comic books, I would totally agree.
Yeah.
Because I think that's right. But I think the problem with video games was not that, like, people grew up doing it, like, with video games, like, oh, I know how to do this right. I think what they realized is, like, you don't need to do the game.
Yeah.
I think for a while they were like, we need to do the game of what this is. I think a classic example is Hitman, right? Hitman has a, like, boring story, a pretty boring story. He's like a clone or something, whatever. It's not a very interesting
barcode on the head or whatever.
Yeah, but the reason why that was such a awesome, cool game was because they created this world where you could perfectly assassinate someone without anyone knowing you were there. And that was like a lot of like, well, I'm just going to slowly walk around in this building and, strangle this guy and then take his uniform. And like, if they just put that in the game, that would be like in a movie, that would just be boring most of the time, because that's like 99% of the game. You do that over and over and over again and in slightly different scenarios, and it still makes it so cool. But movies, when you're telling a story, it's boring. You can't do that. You can't be like, oh, and then he went into another room and killed that guy and stole his uniform, and now he was the chef, and now it's like, it gets boring after a while. I think what they realize with video games is like, let's just tell our own interesting story that's based on the story of this video game. I think the most recent one, to me anyway, is, well, TV show, but The Last of Us. I'm actually only 3 episodes in, and the 3rd episode is like so amazing, so interesting, and does not happen in the video game at all. But
it's in that world, though, like,
it's in that world. Had a very interesting world. It's still about Joel and Ellie and taking her on this journey. Like, that's the premise.
Yeah.
But they're like, we're just gonna make this a cool story, and I think that's what they've started to do with video games. They're like, we're going to take the cool story of the video game, use that world, use the characters, but like make it its own thing.
And what I find interesting, that The Last of Us gets brought up now a lot as an example of like, see, they're doing video games right. And what I appreciate that they've actually done with The Last of Us is pretty much what you're explaining, in that, like, The Last of Us game, from what I understand, it's like a survival shooter, right? Like, you shoot your way out of situations, and it's very, very like shooting heavy, bit of sneaking, bit of stealth.
Yeah.
But the show doesn't really have that. In fact, they don't really shoot guns at all. But the world of it is the same, and they will shoot occasionally when it's necessary, but they've really been like, the story is the important bit. The mechanic of what you're doing, while fun in a game, is not very fun to watch.
In fact, funny that you say that, because I think in the 2nd episode, they do a bit where they're like in a museum and they're sneaking around, and there's these, like, the clickers is what they're called, and it's kind of intense and scary, and they end up shooting like a bit of a battle kind of thing. And I was like, that actual whole scene is the game. That whole scene where you're sneaking around a little bit, you're like, holy effing shit, I don't want this thing to see me. I don't want to like shoot it. That'll cause a whole other problems. Sometimes you run away and hide again, and it won't be able to detect you because you've gotten sort of far enough away. But I was like, but that's perfect, because they've done that once. That scene to me was almost like an homage to the game. Be
Yeah.
like, this is the gameplay. But obviously, we're probably not going to keep doing just multiple scenes like this because that would be boring. But that is what the game is.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's perfect. They did it well. It was still like an intense scene and whatever. Because when you are playing in those moments, it was just as, intense and spooky and scary. And they did that really well, I think. But yes. Anyway.
That being said, I am genuinely excited for the new Mario movie.
Oh yeah. They will nail that one on the head. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Cambo, no doubt in my mind. All right, Cambo. Let's mosey on over into podnapping.
Oh my god, I'm being podnapped!
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves. My week this week, unfortunately, because I foregoed the week before. Mm-hmm. It felt good, though, honestly.
Yeah, I bet.
I just not doing one.
Do you know, I had the thought
great.
today on the train home.
Yeah.
I had the thought being like, wait, it's not my week, is it? And I went,
no.
I'll just forego.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah. Because if you couldn't, if you're like, oh, no, I've already used my forego this month or whatever, you would have jumped off the train.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Under the train.
Yeah. This one I've created, and I'm calling it Idioms, you idiot.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you some idioms, but they are foreign idioms.
Okay.
But I will also give you the English translation, what we might use instead, so you understand the context.
Clarify for me, and let's say maybe a couple of listeners, which one is an idiom?
It's like
remember, I am
two
the
in the
idiot.
hand is worth one in the bush, or something like that.
Yeah,
Did I get that wrong? One in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Yeah.
I think I said that the other way around.
You did. You idiot.
The idiom, you idiot. Yes. Yeah. So it's like little sayings that convey meaning. Is that the most vague thing ever?
Oh, kind of like language.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, right. Yeah. Gotcha.
It's like language.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll get it. You'll understand. Okay. So this. So I'm going to give you one. Oh, you have to. I've made up my own in here.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
So you have to tell me if you think it's real.
Yep.
Or whether it's one I've done.
Okay.
Okay. The morning hour has gold in its mouth. The English equivalent would be the early bird gets the worm.
The morning hour has gold in its mouth. It does sound like, if this is fake, it does sound like sometimes when you directly translate a foreign phrase where the sequence is slightly
you're like,
wrong.
This would sound cooler.
Yeah,
if it was
I'm sure
said
this
in
makes
its
more
language.
sense in its language.
Yeah.
I'm going to say real.
Real. And it's German saying.
The morning sun has gold in thy mouth.
That actually is how it's written. Yeah. To cost a shepherd's flock. Or, in English, to cost an arm and a leg.
Could this be some kind of like European countryside saying?
Yes.
Maybe like in Belgium or something.
They do have shepherds and flocks.
To cost a shepherd's flock. I'll go with yes again.
Oh, this one was me, Kimbo.
It's good, Nelson.
pretty
It
good.
passed the sniff test.
Do you know what? If I just started saying that, I'd be like, oh, that's going to cost a shepherd's flock. People would be like, I get that. Like, I understand the concept.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot.
Whatever the language equivalent of the Turing test is,
Yeah.
I think it passes it. Like I didn't doubt that was a saying.
Yeah.
And in fact, I often think of this, when they talk about phrases and words that Shakespeare made up,
Yeah.
I always wonder about the first performance where people are like, what?
Yeah.
What? What do they say? In a pickle? What?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What does that mean?
Here's another one. This turned into a serious bowl of rice with mangoes. The English equivalent would be, this turned into a sticky situation.
I don't want this to be real.
Okay.
So
Going
I'm going
with
to
one
say
from me?
I'm going to say that's from you.
Well, that's Spanish. Spanish saying, apparently.
The Spanish, and I think I can say this,
Yeah.
are psychopaths.
Total psychopaths.
What is wrong with them, Nelson?
I used to think they were fine until I heard this.
Yeah. Oh, until this moment, I love the Spanish. I mean, I wasn't a fan of their Inquisition, but I could put that aside after all of these years.
Yeah.
And then they go and pull something like this.
In fact, if I'm being honest, I only just got over the Spanish Inquisition. And now this. Ugh. Okay. I'm shitting and walking. I couldn't care less.
I'm going to say real.
It is real.
Yeah.
And it's Portuguese. And actually, this one in particular, I wanted to give you the how it's said in Portuguese. I'm going to butcher this, but I like this for one reason. It's estoy cagando e andando.
That's pretty good.
And I like that it rhymes.
Yeah.
It's like I'm shitting and spitting or something. You know, like it I just
Shitting
like
and
the
spitting, yeah,
iteration in their own language.
There's that weird that study that found that people believe alliteration more. If advice rhymes, they're more likely to go, oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So I think the example they gave to test groups were if you have some pain after a workout, that's inherently a good thing because the muscle is growing.
Yeah.
Or no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
And people agreed more with no pain, no gain than they agreed
like
with the
the
boring
explanation
version of it.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
Can I just say why I knew that?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you've made this segment up, you've inadvertently actually podnapped a well that we go back to time and time again.
Oh, yes.
Which is the Hamish and Andy podcast.
Oh, yes.
They had a segment for many years called the International Phrase Book.
Oh.
And what they would do is they would put out a popular phrase. So, I don't know, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
Yeah.
And people would call up with whatever their country's version of that is.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've heard I'm shitting and walking.
Right, yeah, okay. Okay. He was caught with his beard in the mailbox. The English translation would be, he was caught with his pants down.
Yeah. I think fake.
Real? The Swedes.
Oh, God.
Doesn't that seem like a
They're-
Swedish...
But we've traditionally been pro them. Or the
Yeah.
other one. Who's to say?
Uh,
Only one of them has sent us chocolate, though, when it wasn't Switzerland.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I'm going to give them a pass.
Yeah.
Based on all the yummy chocolate we've been sent.
No, wait. No, the Swedish... They also sent those licorice cats, salty...
They were monkeys, I think.
Oh, monkeys.
They were
God, they were
licorice
disgusting.
Salt monkeys.
Oh, God, that was like the worst candy I've ever eaten in my life. No, but I kind of like this saying, actually, I'm going to say. He was caught with his beard in the mailbox.
But how? I guess it's just embarrassing, right? Because, I've always thought, getting caught with your pants down is like you're doing something wrong and you've been caught.
Well, yeah, I guess that's it, right? Like, is it meant to be somebody stealing somebody else's mail? And they've no, I'll need to quickly close this mailbox before.
Is that this country's version of like a terrible act?
Yeah.
Oh, he was stealing some mail,
Yeah, I think that's it. The Swedes are so nice. Getting caught with your pants down is like you were fucking somebody you shouldn't, basically, is what it sounds like. And in Sweden, it's like, oh, looked at somebody's mail, that's a bit naughty.
No.
Okay. To tug someone's pubes. Or to pull someone's leg.
Okay,
would be the English translation.
now I'm playing what I'm trying to work out your pattern is.
Oh, okay.
So I think we've had too many reels in a row. I'm going to go fake.
Oh, well, yeah, that's right. This one was me. This one was me.
See, I'm no longer reading the international phrasing because that's not my strong suit. I'm reading you because we spend a lot of time together. And I think that's where my advantage is being like, how would Nelson think?
Yeah.
How would he have organized this?
That's the only way we can get by in life. Not by real knowledge, but by just vibing stuff. That's how we get by.
Yeah.
Okay. How about this? I just got two more.
Okay.
Walk on coal, will you?
Okay.
Which is To hell with you.
Okay. Yeah. Walk on. Okay. Look, I'm going to go real.
Oh, it's me, Gambo.
Yeah, okay.
See, I didn't think you'd go 2 me's in a row. That's where I'd played the game as well.
You know what? I did think about that. I was like, he could be trying to bluff me here by doing another fake one. But
to be fair,
it sounded okay enough that I was like, I'll take a punt. I shouldn't have. I should have read you, Nelson, and not the situation.
Yeah. To be fair, I did try to make them a bit weirder, but I was using other idioms that I didn't use as a basis of how to do mine in most cases. At least the English translations. But this Farsi Perusian one is "go lose your grave," and that is "get the hell out of here."
Wow.
Okay.
Go lose your grave.
Go lose your grave seems like such a bizarre. Again, probably makes way more sense in their language or something.
The more threatening one would be like, go find your grave.
Oh, go find your grave. Yeah, that's good. Okay, last one. Repetition teaches the donkey. Or practice makes perfect. With the English translation.
Now, what would Nelson do here? He's had 2 fakes.
Could I do
in
for
a
the
row.
crazy 3 faker?
We have talked in length, Nelson, about a triple bluff in our private life.
Yeah.
That's not something we've ever talked about on the podcast, but you and I independently have talked about our want to do a triple bluff.
We do like
one
the
day.
triple bluff. Yeah.
However, it's a good phrase.
It is a good phrase. Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's real.
It's real. It's an Arabic saying.
Yeah,
Repetition teaches the donkey. I actually think that's better than practice makes perfect, because there is this, the idea, have you heard somebody says practice makes perfect and somebody says, no, perfect practice makes perfect, which is kind of true, right? It's annoying.
It's kind of practice. Look at the guitar. Yeah, I'll go. I guess I know the chords. Yeah, that's practice.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get the idea that it's like if you continuously practice wrong, then you're not going to be perfect at whatever the thing you're practicing is. But when it's like repetition teaches the donkey, it's not about perfection. It's about just learning. And I was like, I like that saying more. And I will forever only use repetition teaches the donkey now instead of practice makes perfect. That's it. Those were idioms, you idiot.
How did I do? I think I got like half.
Yeah, I was keeping track. You lost though.
Oh, no. I feared that would happen.
Yeah. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
The
or as
moment-
I like to say, that's the way the dogs like their breakfast.
Okay. I feel like you've mixed up 2, which is that's the dog's breakfast.
Yeah.
Which means something's a mess, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. And what you've done is you've in your mind you've connected 2 foods.
No.
And
This
2
is a real
sayings.
saying.
Okay.
That was actually a Japanese saying.
Oh, well, they're very wise, so I should. It would be sage advice for me to follow.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's end the show. I'm over it.
Mercifully, no emails.
No emails.
Send
Write
them
in
in
if you want.
Send them in.
If you want. You know what? I want people to write in their own idioms from their own countries. One actually that on this website was, that guy's got a kangaroo loose in the top paddock.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a few kangaroos loose.
Yeah, I think it's sort of close enough. Feels like such an Australian thing to be like, we've got this saying, but nobody knows it perfectly, and it's like roughly about a kangaroo being loose in a top paddock.
Here's one I don't hear much, but I always enjoy, which is madder than a bag of cats.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but I find that funny.
Yeah. Because that's pretty mad.
Yeah, and not directly what we're talking about though, but there is the Australian one. We didn't come here to fuck spiders.
Yeah.
No, I guess not technically an idiom, more of just a weird thing we sometimes say.
Yeah. I don't know if it's well, I guess maybe, yeah.
But I am curious. In fact, maybe write in with this, or to our Discord, or whichever. What do you think that means? Because it is an Australian saying where they'll say, we didn't come here to fuck spiders. What do we mean by that?
Yep.
That's your homework. You need to do it.
Yes. Okay. Good job, Cambo. It's funny because I feel like it's obvious, but then maybe that's just because I know.
That's what I'm wondering. Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's obvious too. But is it?
Or what does it mean to say he's got a kangaroo loose in the top paddock?
Yeah.
Maybe that's one you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho.
Oh, he's 2 dingoes short from Faraway Downs.
Oh.
One of these sayings is made up. Pick which one.
Yeah. Also, nah, I'm not going to say that.
Let's just end the show.
We should have ended several minutes ago. Get back. We've
Subscribe,
got
rate the show.
the podcast that you should subscribe to. It's not this one.
Yeah. Cancelled Movie Report.
Cancelled Movie
it's
Report
called.
is a really good podcast.
New season is coming up.
Yeah. If you'd like to write into us,
Yep.
Reddit podcast, readitpodcast@gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast. We'd also appreciate it if you could subscribe and something, all that stuff. And
Cancelled movie report.
Cancelled movie report. Thanks for listening, and we will read you later.